You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph. Love touches the untouchable. Part 1. I want to start this podcast series with a scripture. Mark chapter 1 verse 40 to 42. Now a leper came to him, that's Jesus, imploring him, or beseeching is an old word, kneeling down to him and saying to him, "If you are willing, you can make me clean." Then Jesus, moved with compassion, stretched out his hand and touched him, and said to him, "I am willing, be cleansed." As soon as he had spoken, in verse 42, immediately the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. In this series, I'm really talking about a love that is beyond reason. In other words, if we're called to follow Christ as people and we love the Lord, then we are to go way, way beyond the reasonable limits that man would put on love and go beyond them. A wee bit like Mother Teresa when she said we must pour ourselves out of self. We must virtually bleed love to the poor and the dying. In our fallen state as human beings, we can deteriorate in this whole area of loving people. We can love those who love us, for example, but then we hate those who hate us. But the Bible turns that all around and actually says to love those who hate us and persecute us. So there are incredibly higher standards of love, God's love, that we're talking about when we say love beyond reason. It's called agape love, which is self-sacrificing. It's putting others first, even at our own cost. A.W. Tozer said, "I am determined that I'm going to love everybody, even if it kills me. I have set my heart on it, and I'm going to do it." And so he told himself this. He talked to his own soul and said he's going to love people in the extreme. And really, that's what you and I are called to do. I know that there are different forms of love. There are different standards. But the only standard that you and I have is the love of God. And so that's why we've called this topic, Love Touches the Untouchable. Love touches the untouchable. Love seeks only one thing. It seeks the good of the one loved. It leaves all other secondary effects to take care of themselves. There are many things that will come against us or will come up that will be against doing this, against the decision to love or to touch someone or to reach out to someone. Many obstacles. In Jesus' case, in this passage, it was a disease. And so there are all these things that can even scream out to you and say, no, walk away. Let them take care of themselves. But we are to love the person first. Love them first. Look beyond the issues that they have. When I was a little kid at Waikari Primary School in Dunedin, we as boys used to get around together. But there was one group of people that we wouldn't go near. In fact, we wouldn't even want to touch them or spend time with them. You might get some disease worse than the plague. They were called girls. But we can all do that. We can all classify people as lower than us or even higher than us. We're into this comparison game, and we can subconsciously dismiss groups of people based on all sorts of factors. The interesting thing is that human beings need to be touched. Gary Smalley and John Trent cite studies that show that people who experienced meaningful touch on a regular basis actually have a longer life expectancy than those who don't. It's quite interesting. Meaningful contact with people. It's good to shake hands. Often when you're first introduced to people, that's the form of touch that you have. You shake hands. If you know a person a bit better, you might give them a hug. And so human beings need contact. They need touch. God bless you today.